Have you eaten too many snacks during the holiday? Is your New Year's resolution to lose weight and you don't know where to start? Then you're in the right place. Today's guest on the Bear Hug Radio is Dylan. He is a life coach that focuses on training and nutrition, but also on mindset and lifestyle. All the necessary steps to ensure a successful transformation. Welcome to the Bear Hug Radio.
Wicked, thank you for having me. Happy to be on and happy to kind of share my journey and what have you.
You can't really get to know someone with a few tweets, you know what I mean? What got me to know you is the Parker Space, where you actually shared your whole story, and I'm like, man, this guy is real. It was a really eye-opening situation, so I'm really happy I got to listen to that space. All right, so there's a new segment in my podcast. It's called Fast 10. You have to choose between two items, and you have to just choose without explaining anything. Are you ready?
Sounds good. I'm ready.
Okay, so leg day or arms day?
Leg day.
Lo-fi or blueprint?
Lo-fi.
Treadmill or elliptor?
Elliptor.
Sol or Bitcoin?
Sol.
Founders coins or boom boxes?
Founders coin.
Dollar cost averaging right now or waiting for the dip?
Waiting for the dip.
ABCs or SMBs?
ABCs.
UK DAO or Coral DAO?
UK DAO. Hands down. Sorry, Coral fam.
No explaining needed, Don. Pizza or salad?
Pizza.
And Kaiser Subi?
Guys. Oh, that's a difficult one. I feel bad for Subi now.
No, I think the reason why a lot of people choose Kaiser, he's more vocal, and Subi's working, grinding in the background. And
that's it.
Well, actually, it's only the second time I did this, and for some people, it's kind of a nice way to ice break and stuff like that.
Yeah, it sounds good. Wicked.
So, is nutrition an important part of your life?
Yeah, obviously, for those people that don't know me, I'm a online coach. So I used to be a personal trainer for many, many years. I've been in the fitness industry for a very, very long time. But I'm transitioned to coaching people online. Most people think when I say online coaching, most people think standing in front of a camera and coaching and PTing someone in front of a camera, and it's completely the opposite to that. For me, I coach people to essentially manage their nutrition, their training, their lifestyle, their mindset, all aspects to basically bring about a successful transformation in someone. And it's not just about the physical transformation, it's about living by their higher standards, living a happy, fulfilled and confident life. So nutrition is just, one part of that, not just with my clients, but with myself. It's more about the feeling of feeling good, feeling confident, and having that confidence within yourself to kind of, display that in any situation. Because I'm naturally an introvert. I used to be a very much an introvert. The physical change and transformation for me is like an important part of a change in me. And that's why I try and help clients achieve as well. But yeah, nutrition is an important part for sure.
If you look good and you feel good, then your emotion will get together. Is that what it is?
100%. It's about essentially using the physical change as a vehicle to transform someone's life. Because we have a variety of people that are on the program. Some of course, some guys just want to get leaner, get stronger and change their physical appearance. But for the most part, I'm coaching people like myself who growing up lacked a hell of a lot of confidence, lacked self-esteem, lacked value within themselves, struggled with mental health as much as they did with their physical. We have a lot of clients from all walks of life who are trying to basically transform their life, not just their physical appearance, but their physical appearance is one aspect of that. And if you can control that and you can, build confidence in that, everything else follows. And that's what I try and coach people to achieve.
How do you find clients? Do you use Twitter? Do you use online? Do you have a website that people can go to?
Yeah, I've got a website that people can go to. Most of my clients come through social media, mainly Instagram. Like I said to you, Trust, for me, the Twitter side of things, the crypto, the NFT side of things is almost like a fun thing. If I make a little bit of money on the side, then so be it, amazing stuff. But it's literally just like a fun sort of thing. So most of my clients come from Instagram and come from word of mouth as well. Clients that have achieved amazing results, phenomenal transformations, and then have gone on to refer other clients as well. I have picked up a couple of clients from crypto, just from networking within the OK Bear space. But yeah, that's not my sole purpose of either jumping on a podcast or speaking in groups and DAOs and so forth. I'm there just to kind of relax and enjoy it.
That's what I got to know from you, from like talking to you for a few times. Like a lot of people think that you buy a bear because you want marketing and you want people to get to know you and you want your brand to go up and stuff like that, and that's really not you, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So let's get to know you a little bit. What do you do for fun? What are your hobbies?
To be honest, Trust, I live quite a boring life. I used to party a lot and rave a lot. I love house music, etc. But I've recently had a kid about a year ago. He's turned 1 now. And yeah, since then my life has been really, really calm, relaxed, chilled out. For me, it's just really kind of training, focusing on my job, my career, having a huge impact on people's lives. In terms of fun, it's really just going to the gym, training, playing with my son, reading him a story can bring me a lot of happiness and a lot of fun in the evening. Playing with him and just going out and enjoying meals as a family and stuff. I'm very much now a family orientated guy. So for me, my life is pretty boring. It's just, playing PlayStation, watching TV, crypto, NFTs. Yeah. Maybe not so much enjoyment from crypto and NFTs just yet, but with how things are. But other than that, I'm a pretty boring guy.
I'm going to live that in about 6 months. So.
Fantastic. Amazing. Congratulations, man. Amazing stuff.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. I'm really happy about that. So
amazing.
I'm happy that I'm ready for that boring life, like that dead life.
Yeah. It's honestly, it's like the biggest blessing ever that I've had in my life. Biggest blessing ever. Yeah, just nothing will prepare you for it, mate, and I'm sure you'll do absolutely fine. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it.
Thanks, man. Do you have a favorite sport?
Rugby, only because I played rugby at quite a high level growing up, but currently between NFTs, crypto, between work and everything else and family life, I don't even get time to watch much football or rugby or anything like that. So yeah, other than that, I'm an Arsenal fan, but sort of fleeting in and out of watching it. Please don't tell me you're a Spurs fan.
No. I mean, I'm not too much of a football fan, to be honest. Like I like watching it. I watched the World Cup. It was fun and interesting. But when you live in Canada, it's more like it's a cool sport. It's really cool that they made the World Cup and stuff like that. But I don't watch it religiously, to be honest.
Yeah. What's your sport? Basketball?
Actually, I'm a hockey player.
Fantastic.
I've been playing since I was really young, and I still play with my buddies and stuff once a week. I like all sports. I like American football also. I did play soccer, like football, when I was young for 12 years. It was interesting. I also went to the gym a lot when I was younger. Did some swimming also, but the sports I like watching are more American football and hockey.
Wicked stuff.
What is your favorite food?
I'd probably say 2 favorite foods. Probably pasta, any pasta dish. Probably seafood linguine is probably like my favorite. I like a good rare steak with a nice glass of wine. You can't beat that, especially when you've had a tough day and you just want to chill out and enjoy something nice. Steak and wine does really nicely. So yeah, it's got to be rare.
It's got to be rare.
Got to be rare, man.
Like you flip it once, you flip it twice, like that's it.
Blue.
Yeah.
It's got to be rare. It's got to be rare.
Yeah, why don't you tell me something interesting about yourself that maybe people on the crypto side doesn't know?
Yeah, probably going back to who I am. I'm an introvert. A lot of people would probably speak to me on a face-to-face call, what have you, and think, oh, he's quite outgoing, he's quite chilled out, he's quite confident, quietly confident, etc. But yeah, naturally I'm an introvert. Growing up, I severely lacked confidence. Definitely wouldn't have been able to have got on a call like this and shown my face and spoken about things and what have you. But that's kind of developed over the last sort of 5, 10, 15 years, where I've worked on myself to become the person I am today, and be able to do the job role and have an impact on people's lives. I have to be in some way confident, outgoing, and be able to relate to people as well. So yeah, if people probably don't know that about me unless they've listened to Parker's podcast as well.
Yeah, I think you talked about it a bit also, but those people that don't know you, like they see a picture, they're like, oh, this guy, he's fit, confident and stuff like that. And I think that's interesting that people might not know about you. That's cool. So, for those of you that didn't watch the Parker episode, you really have to go on his page and look at it. But you talked about your story growing up, you know, your past and stuff like that. If you're comfortable talking about it, can you like speak about like how your upbringing shaped who you are and maybe your career choice?
100%. I'm an open book. Everyone, it tends to be a lot of people in bears as well. Everyone has had a lot of shit, happen to them growing up. So I'm no different to anyone else, Listen, I spoke about it on Parker's podcast as well, in the sense that I had, I was surrounded by substance abuse growing up. I saw my mum go through a battle with addiction, and she lost that battle, not so long ago, about four or 5 years ago. And yeah, it was just very difficult growing up, seeing someone that you are incredibly close to, who's brought you into this world, go through stuff like that. And yeah, you just end up almost like blaming yourself as a kid for not being able to kind of save your own mum. And she was the closest person to me growing up. But at the same time, as a kid, you grow, like develop, or you don't go through and relate to the same stuff that people your age are going through. So it's very, very difficult to grow up and feel sociable, to feel like you have the skills to be able to deal with things and stuff like that. You end up almost shutting off. And I just, growing up, I was, couldn't really talk to people, struggled to talk to people. I was very, very angry, resentful growing up as well. So yeah, it was difficult in that respect. And, it was really kind of when one of my mentors kind of asked me, he said to me, what's led you down to where you are today? Why do you want to get into health and fitness? Why is this a passion of yours? And it was only until I reflected on things that happened in my past that I realized the reason why I got into health and fitness was to help people, genuinely. It was to transform people, to help them on the same kind of journey that I had been on in terms of transforming my life. I transformed my life from going to that kid that I was to the person that I am today, that I displays confidence and happiness and whatever else. And it's taken a lot of work to get there. So when people come onto the program and come onto my program and they're lacking in confidence and self-esteem, I can relate to what they've gone through and what they're going through. So that's how I kind of got to where I am today. And I kind of fell in love with transforming people, almost in like a way that I couldn't save my mum. I feel like even to this day, as many people will say to you, you're silly for thinking that, in some way deep down, I hold on to something that I couldn't save my mum. I couldn't save her from living and save her from addiction. And that's something that will probably never change for me. It's something that has stayed there for quite a long time. But my way of kind of dealing with that and my way of kind of compensating for that in some sort of way is to help others and to help others get to where they want to be. So, yeah.
You can relate to your clients. When I go to the gym and I want a trainer, I want a guy who's fit. I don't want a guy with a belly because I'm like, man, that guy doesn't know the life. Do you open up to all your clients to help them, guide them?
Yes and no. There are times for being vulnerable and opening up, and at times I have. Not every client needs to or wants to hear that, but I'm very much an open book to a lot of people and happy to talk without getting emotional or upset or whatever. It's just I'm easy to kind of go into that even with clients as well. But if it's relevant to the situation and I think it will help them, yeah, for sure, I'll definitely open up about it.
What are your hours like?
Long. Because I've got clients from all over the world, between the US, Australia, UK, Europe. So yeah, it's kind of tough. But usually I wake up very, very early. Christmas hours have obviously been a bit different. I've stepped back a little bit to spend time with the family. But usually it's like 5 a.m. starts. Usually I'll finish around 6:37. I'll put my kid to bed, read to him and whatever. And then I'll probably work another hour or so after that as well. Quite long hours. It's been difficult. I'll be honest with you. It's been difficult. I'd say the last year since having him was challenging, kind of juggling a lot in terms of work, in terms of my own health and fitness and his well-being as well, and wanting to spend time with him. It has been challenging, but I think now that it's been a year, I'm kind of just getting to grips with how to manage absolutely everything and perform at a high level in all areas of my life.
Did you start doing the online workouts before COVID, or is it something that kind of became an online business because of COVID?
Very good question. Mine was actually before COVID. So I had probably started around a year, maybe 6 months to a year before COVID had hit. So I already had a pretty decent client base, but I was still PTing. So personal training before COVID was still on the agenda, and I was doing half and half. The problem with personal training is, for the most part, it has a very limited impact in terms of someone's life and in terms of someone's results. Yeah. So, training 1 to 3 hours a week with a personal trainer is literally, that's what you're paying for. You're paying for 1 to 3 hours per week. Most of the results when it comes to achieving a phenomenal transformation, both physical and with confidence, whatever else, happens in the hours outside of the gym. Mm-hmm. So for me, when I had kind of, I'd become very, very well known in my area in London as like the go-to personal trainer for results, etc. But I wanted to have a much, much bigger impact on people's lives, not just within, London, but within the wider world. I wanted clients in America, I wanted clients around the world, for example, to have a bigger impact and, not sacrificing service, but to still get amazing results. So I transitioned to online probably about 6 months to a year, probably a year. I'd say it was a year before COVID had hit. So I already had established quite a good client base. And then COVID happened, and we were all in lockdowns, and then business with regards to online just kind of exploded. People had the disposable income, they had the time, they had more time on their hands, and they needed to focus on something that would give them better mental and physical health, rather than sitting on the couch eating shit and feeling terrible. So that's how my online business grew. And then obviously that took off, and I pulled away from personal training because I saw the impact that I was having in the way of results on people's lives.
Do you ever think about opening your own gym?
Yeah, so I do a couple personal training sessions, and they are just for local online clients. So I have clients in the North London area, and if they want to come down and do a session with me, then they've got a place that they can do that. Go to a gym and we'll coach them through that. But for me, I had thought about it prior to COVID and prior to setting up online. That was probably the route that I wanted to go down, was to have my own facility. But yeah, like I said, personal training in my eyes leaves a lot on the table, and hence why I didn't quite go down that route.
Where do you see yourself in like 3 years?
Yeah, so my goals are to be successful. Like, I want to take the business to a completely different level, even double the client base, having someone else work under my brand as well. But at the same time, I just want to kind of be in a position where I'm very, very comfortable, bring up my kid, support him and my missus, and just live a comfortable, relaxed life, where we don't have to stress. I think for me, this is probably to do with that. And one of the biggest goals is to just impact as many lives before I die. As depressing as that sounds, it's one of those things that, before I pass, before I go, I want to leave an impact on people's lives in a positive light where, they feel great.
That's quite the opposite of boring, man. It's really cool, man.
Good stuff.
I think like you want to have a job that makes an impact on someone's life. Certain people working in stores and stuff like that, or you work in an office. Like for me, my father's an accountant, and it seemed like a boring job, and I felt like you had no impact on people's life. And I always wanted a non-traditional work where you can actually see the difference. I'm actually a teacher, so for me, I can see the growth in the students also. So I guess it is a traditional work, but you see the growth, and it brings you joy also, like helping people. Every year I have about 230 students. You kind of enjoy having the interaction and seeing the growth, for me personally.
100%. That you've hit the nail on the head. You see your students grow and develop and change on a day-to-day basis, and you're also partly in control of that. So it's a huge thing in terms of fulfillment, the happiness that it brings to your life. But what do you teach?
I teach English as a second language.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's brilliant, man.
I finished university, and then I saw this pamphlet on the floor, and it says Teach International. So I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. And then I went to South Korea, lived there for about 4 years, and it was really amazing. So at one point I wanted to put roots down, so I came back home with my wife, and I've been back for about 5 years teaching here. You want to have a balance of like money and fulfillment, and teachers are well known to not be paid very well. So on the fulfillment side is good, and that's why I kind of go to crypto to like balance that. Everyone has their own reason why to go to crypto, and what's your reason to go to crypto?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to make money. This is my like really my first year in crypto. I mean, I've accumulated before coins, but never really thought anything about it, and just like Ethereum, Solana, and just kind of bought and kept it there. It was never traded or anything like that. I just kept it in account. But for me, this is like my first year, my first bear market as well. So it's been quite tough to kind of see how low things can bloody go. And NFTs, I'm new to NFTs as well. I got in pretty much just before OK Bears had launched, and I'd lost a lot of money through NFTs just from making stupid trades as a complete beginner. But yeah, listen, I'm here today, and I've been kind of delving into crypto to, like you know, you want to make a bit of money, you want your investment to grow. Anyone would say they were lying if they didn't, but I want my investment to grow, to double and whatever. And I've chosen OK Bears to kind of, hopefully, fingers crossed, get us on that path.
What other NFTs do you hold aside from bears?
ABC, I recently bought back in, and Adam Apes 4x4. That's about it now. I've kind of cut down on everything else, sold everything else, and just kind of doubled down on a couple of things.
What was your biggest win though in the crypto space?
I'd probably say the social aspect of being part of OK Bears. I know it sounds cheesy to say that, because, you know, before getting into NFTs, I would never ever have thought that I could have connected with people, strangers, people that you don't know, on a kind of like a deeper level, you know? Getting to know, for example, the guys in the UK DAO, like they're all really, really top guys, you know? And, you know, me and you, Trust, we would never have connected, you know? So just getting to message people from different walks of life, from different countries that are strangers, but genuinely you connect with them on a different level, you know? And I never thought I'd be able to do that. So for me, I'd probably say that is the biggest win. And yeah, just being part of the OK Bears community is a win for me. I genuinely believe not just in the brand, but in the values of the brand, from the founders to the message that they put out and everything else. So I think that's probably what resonated with me the most, in terms of ethics, in terms of how I want to be as a person as well. That's kind of why I've doubled down on OK Bears, and yeah, I have conviction that it will pay off in the long run.
I totally understand. I think like the OK Bears with the message, the Wagbo, we're all gonna be okay, and I think it resonates for a lot of people. It's also like really clean art that it's brandable, you know, like a monkey smoking or a monkey on drugs. It's like you can't put that everywhere, you know, like you need like a really rebellion brand and stuff like that. But when you have a bear that says like we're gonna be all right even if there's tough times and stuff, like it resonates in a lot of people, and like people, you know, they enjoy the message that it sends.
100%.
What is your biggest loss though? Like, have you gone through a couple of rugs?
Yeah, I've lost a decent chunk of money. Probably I sold a lot. I sold things like kets. I sold some shitty little NFTs. I won't name them, but I sold quite a lot when crypto was dumping, when Sol was dumping on the way down. Obviously, when you've bought high and you sell low, you're selling at a loss, you know, a loss in USD. But I've, you know, kind of distributed those losses into OK Bears. So I've also been accumulating and DCAing downwards with OK Bears. So yeah, like I said, I've invested a hell of a lot in OK Bears, and yeah, that will be my biggest loss if they don't recoup that. Yeah. No pressure, guys.
It's not, yeah, it's not a loss until you sell it, you know. And honestly, it's a long-term play, you know, like with the IMG deal and the team they put, the treasure, you know, like the big treasure chest they have. Yeah, it's a long game, and you gotta wait. And like I think it'll put into fruition like in at least a year, you know, like when crypto comes back, and yeah, that's where we're gonna see it, you know. And like it's foolproof, you know. If anything happens to Sol, they have a backup plan. So your money is really good in the bears, you know, like if anything they'll move to ETH and stuff like that. There is a contingency plan there. I think your bags are pretty safe. How many bears do you have?
20, I believe. 20, I believe. Yeah, I think it's 20 now. I want to make it 25, but yeah, just kind of chilling out a little bit for now. But yeah, 20. But you're right. I looked at bears as almost like a safer bet. You know, I don't think Sol's going to fail. I think Sol will be absolutely fine. But last resort sort of thing, like you said, you can port bears to another chain. hopefully ETH and not Polygon, but you can port them to ETH. It's a safer bet.
Do you have any ideas of using your bear as like your logo or your mascot to your business?
I hadn't. Someone mentioned it to me in the UK DAO. They mentioned potentially appealing to the crypto market and almost setting up like a side business, but the same business model, but this, as a crypto NFT sort of version of that. So I need to look into that and potentially use my bear to kind of brand that. But I haven't had, the time and effort to kind of seriously start planning that out just yet. But yeah, maybe in the future, we'll see.
If there's like a monstrous looking bear, like,
That's it.
like kind of something
That's
that, like that goes to the gym,
That's it. Exactly that.
Who do you think would be a cool guest on the podcast?
I'd probably say Glock. Glock's like the mascot of OK Bears of UK DAO. I've had many conversations with him. He's always given me his time to kind of, there's been times where, like, for example, this has been like my first bear market and it's been kind of tough to get through it, at times, and to not question. I've questioned OK Bears before. I've questioned crypto. I've questioned Sol before. So you go through periods where it can be difficult and your emotions get the better of you. And I've had conversations with Glock, and he's a straight up nice guy who's been able to give me his time and kind of to help navigate that difficult time or period where I've had those doubts. And I think he's someone that has promoted OK Bears very much in and amongst the DGod community as well. But yeah, he's a top man. He would probably be someone that I want to learn or hear about their story a bit more.
I definitely want to have him on. It's always a time issue.
Yeah.
It's hard to get people in a room for an hour.
It's early morning your end, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really early, but it's worth it.
Good stuff.
Thank you very much for giving me your time.
Top man.
If you enjoyed the show, hit the like and the subscribe button and use this link to watch the next episode. Peace.